Very good evening. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining the Bhagavad Gita Satsang, the way of life as imparted by Lord Shri Krishna. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. We'll be continuing from chapter 2, which is Sankhyayoga, the yoga of knowledge, and we will be discussing about the marks of the man of stable mind and his glories as described by Lord Shri Krishna. So today we'll be continuing from verse 64 onwards. A small recap. So the last satsang we understood how we need to let go of the desires and surrender to the Divine Lord, because when you have unfulfilled desires and when you carry it with yourself, you're going to get angry, and because of anger you are going to be deluded. So you will not be able to understand what is right and what is wrong. So because of delusion, then there is a loss of reasoning and there is confusion of memory, and because of confusion of memory there is a loss of reason, and then what happens? From loss of reason one goes to complete ruin. So please be very careful and always be aware of yourself and what is happening within you, because if you are not aware, then you are going to get carried away like this, and then your whole life will come to a ruin. See, these are the very important life lessons which Lord Shri Krishna is teaching. See, spirituality is one aspect, but this is a real-time life lesson which we need to imbibe and live in our world. We have to apply it in our day-to-day living of day-to-day existence. And if we do not apply these essential life lessons, then how will you become a good human being? Forget about divinity. Divine being is the next aspect. That's a long drawn process, because you have to walk the path of spirituality in that. But here, first you have to become a good human being. So applying these lessons in your own life in a day-to-day manner is what is required. And these are very simple lessons, but it is very difficult for us to understand and use, in our real-time existence. And that is what Lord Shri Krishna is teaching Arjuna. So let us continue verse 64. But the self-controlled sadhaka, while enjoying the various sense objects through his senses, which are disciplined and free from likes and dislikes, attains placidity of mind. So what is he saying? He's again saying a very profound thing. See, most important thing, that a sadhaka is one who's just on the path, or even we spoke about a wise man. How, a man who has a stable mind, how does he live, right? That's what the question. I'm just going to recap the question. He's asking, Arjuna said, Krishna, what are the characteristics of a God-realized soul, stable of mind and established in samadhi, that is perfect tranquility of mind? How does the man of stable mind speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? Okay, and so that is exactly what Lord Shri Krishna has been explaining to Arjuna. So here he's saying, but the self-controlled sadhaka. See, what did Lord Shri Krishna tell Arjuna? In the last few verses, in chapter 2 itself, many times we have come across the word called, he's saying to Arjuna, Arjuna, you be self-controlled. One who has been able to achieve self-control, you have to be self-controlled. The self-control is a very important word here. So he's saying, but the self-controlled sadhaka, while enjoying the various sense objects through his senses. See, we are not talking about a normal human being. We are talking about somebody who is a little bit on the path. And what he's saying is that this self-control, what does self-control mean? See, self-control means, an example I will give you, which is a very common thing. See, I'm sure everybody, drinks wine, or, you're used to doing certain, drinking something or going to parties, whatever that you are doing. So if you see a bottle of, wine bottle in front of you, the wine bottle is there. See, it is an intoxicant, but you have a habit of drinking wine. So does it mean that the moment you see, you're going to just, gulp the whole bottle and get sloshed? No, that's not what it means. It means self-control. Okay, fine. I'm used to drinking. There is a wine bottle. Your friend has invited you for a party. So what you do is, you just tell him, look, I'm just going to have a glass of wine. So just a glass. And beyond that, you're not going to overdo things. So what he's saying is self-control. So you're just going to drink. That doesn't mean I approve of drinking. No, alcohol is not an approved thing. I'm already saying this, okay? I'm just giving an example. Alcohol is prohibited as per our scriptures. We do not drink on the path of spirituality, okay? When those who are spiritual people don't do these things. But in the material world, yes, if you are in the material world and you are a sadhaka, you're a seeker and you want to enjoy something, I'm just giving an example. It's only an example. So you take the glass of wine and you only limit to that much. You're very clear. Even after your friend says, oh, it's just the wine, there's nothing in this. It's not it's not alcohol. According to the world, it's not alcohol. It's a grape juice. So you can have one more. But if you put your foot down and say, no, this is my limit and I will only drink one glass of wine, that is called being self-control. No matter who tries to, I wouldn't say provoke, they're trying to, coax you to drink more and all that. They're trying, hey, you're my best friend. No, you should do this for me. You know how people talk. They try to push you towards that gutter. So they're always trying to also make you become like them. It's very easy to fall down, please remember, but very difficult to rise above and stand for what you believe. It's very difficult. And that is why there's a strong will required. You have to be extremely disciplined. And most important, the word here is called self-control. And when you exercise your self-control, your self-restraint, come what may, even your mind is going to tell you, hey, he's your friend, yeah, it's okay. Please go. One more glass is not going to make any difference. It's fine. Please go have one more glass of wine. That's okay, perfectly okay. This is how your mind is still going to tell you. And then what happens? Then you're actually, if you're not a strong-willed and you don't have self-control, you will say, okay, fine, just for your sake I will drink. That's it. You're already gone there. Right there you have failed. So here, that is what it means about having self-control, that you will put your foot down. Come, no matter who says what, I am not going to cross that limit means I will not cross. That's how it is. Like my Krishna Guruji, he will not eat anything after 6 p.m. on dot. The moment the clock, it rings, it's sharp 6 p.m. and then he makes, that's it. He's shut shop. He can't eat anything beyond 6 p.m. In the sense, whatever, if he has to have his tea or even if he has to have some snack, it has to be before 6 p.m. And it's not 5:55 p.m. he will be able to eat. It means by 5:30, between 5:30, anytime before 6, he will have to eat it. But on dot of 6, that's it. He will just shut down. That's the discipline. And that is the perfect ability to control one's mind, because everybody will say, it's okay, Guruji, just 5 more minutes, it's okay, please, I made it for you, please, you have it. No, we'll try to make concessions in our life. That concessions is not allowed in spirituality. In the material world, everybody makes concession. That is so normal. And rules nobody wants to follow. Everybody thinks that they will do the way they want to do, behave in whichever manner, talk in whatever manner. Here, Lord Sri Krishna is talking about how do you speak, how do you sit, how do you walk. Of a man with a stable mind. Please remember, why is he so particular about how do you sit, how do you talk, how do you walk? Because those are very important aspects to becoming, a spiritual being or somebody who needs to be looked upon. And when you're on the path of spirituality, please remember, the world is watching you. It's what you demonstrate is what the world will look at you as. Because everything, again, boils down to who is your teacher, who has taught you. And, very nicely, my Krishna Guruji was explaining a very beautiful incident. Not incident, it's what is happening in the world. China has come up with a very interesting law. They are saying that if children were to do any mistakes or if they were doing something wrong, the parents are going to be punished for the mistakes committed by their children. Now you tell me, are the parents responsible for a children's bad behavior? Of course not. You think any parent want their children to behave badly? No. Every parent wishes and aspires that my son, my daughter should do very well. My son and daughter should become somebody great. I don't want them to live a life like mine. My life is not good, but I want my children to shine in this world. That is what every parent will aspire. They are not telling that you have to behave badly, but who's responsible for the bad behavior? It is you. It is you who has learned those bad things. It is you who's responsible for the bad behavior. And what is the one thing that you're earning for your parents? A bad name. Because of your behavior, your parents are going to be, spoken badly about. Likewise, when you misbehave, when you do anything, the world will only talk about the guru, not about you. The world is going to say, what kind of a guru is he? Is this what he has taught his disciples? This is what the kind of students he has? That's exactly what we'll do. Our behavior represents our master, our guru, whosoever, whether you're working for a company, your way of how you conduct directly represents your organization. Please remember, you're not representing yourself, you're representing an organization, you're representing the divine Lord. When you say, I'm a Krishna devotee, I'm a Krishna bhakt, people very proudly say, but what is Krishna known for? Lord Shri Krishna is known for such beautiful thing. Do you even follow even a dot of what he is? Of course not. Then in what mouth are you saying I'm a Krishna bhakt? To become Krishna bhakt is not such an easy thing. Yesterday marked a very beautiful day, and it is called a Sharad Purnima, a beautiful day of, in an entire year, one of the most profound day. Not everybody understands, because it's a day where Lord Shri Krishna had promised all the gopis that he will perform in Ras Leela. And on the Sharad Purnima evening, that night, is when he performs this beautiful Ras Leela. And what does Ras Leela mean? Every gopi had one Krishna with her. What does it mean? It's the union of your soul with that, your Jiva with the Atman, that is Paramatma. Jivatma is one with the Paramatma. So we say Jiva is the individual soul. There is nothing like an individual soul. We are one alone. So that union with the divine is called, that Leela, that yoga, or union with the divine is what it is. So in the Ras Leela, Lord Shri Krishna fulfills becoming one with that gopi. What does that depict? What does it represent? We think, oh, Lord Shri Krishna is doing some dance with gopis. That is how we think. Our mind is all messed up because we have not understood what is the spiritual significance of that. That means, the gopis have attained the oneness with their divine, which is inward. There is nothing outside. And how do you attain that union? Lord Shri Krishna tests the gopis once when they were having bath near the Yamuna Nadi. They had kept all their garments on the river bank. So Lord Shri Krishna takes them all and sits on a tree. Then the gopis say, Krishna, please give us our garments, kindly. We can't come in front of you like this. We don't want to come out like, naked. But it sounds so gross, right? Imagine, oh, what is this Lord Shri Krishna doing something like this? It sounds so gross. But you know what exactly it means? It means, I'll just come in a short time about what it means. But before that, the story goes like this. And Lord Shri Krishna he says to gopis, if you want me to perform the Ras Leela with you, so this is before conducting the Ras Leela, he says, you have to come naked in front of me with the folded hands raised above. What does it mean? He's saying, give up your ego, arrogance, everything, anger, hatred, all the things, the attachment to the body, mind, senses, everything, and come naked and surrendered unto the lotus feet of mine, surrender unto me. That's what he meant. It doesn't mean that, a naked, he's asking the gopis to come naked. The word naked is far superior beyond your, petty mind's understanding. A human mind can only think from a material, crass standpoint. But the spiritual truth and significance is very profound. So the meaning is that only when you surrender completely, giving up your ego, arrogance, the attachment to the body, I, me, myness, everything, and surrendering unto the divine Lord, that is when you can become one with him, with absolute surrender, unconditional pure love and exclusive devotion. Only then can you have that oneness, that union. And when the gopis, when they do exactly what the Lord asked them to do, then he performs this Ras Leela with them, which is the oneness of the soul. yourself, the one within, you achieve and attain the divinity within yourself. That oneness, that union is called Ras Leela. That the dance, it's the dance of the divine. It's such a profound thing. You're in so lost in love. It's a beautiful expression. It's an experience. It's a blissful thing. Please remember, these spiritual experiences cannot be described to another individual. When we try to describe, they can only use their crass understanding, the mind, the petty mind, which is always dwelling in the material world, and it will always try to compare in the material realm. This is not anything to associate in the material worldly relationships. Let me be very clear here. Because people have their stupid mind, which is going to tell, oh, I'm going to experience this with my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, and whatever nonsense that you think you can do. This is not some material worldly relationship. This is a relationship with the divine Lord. It is a union with the Paramatma, which has to be so pure. It is a pure one, which is after overcoming your mind, body, senses, your ego, your arrogance and everything, going beyond the three gunas, transcending the delusions, and then you attain that union, and for which you need to have absolute purity of heart and mind, and surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Guru. And not until that you can ever achieve this union. It's not such an easy thing. The way we think, this is a very beautiful journey which is going inwards. This is not outwards, where you're drawing all your senses to go inwards within yourself. And that's a long drawn process, and that's called that oneness, that intense love for the divine Lord. That's it's called bhakti, and the highest form of bhakti is called the prema that you have to attain. In the sense, the bhakti is called raganuga bhakti, but the one which you have to attain, that love, that is called prema, and that's indescribable in words. Nobody can ever describe adequately what it feels like until you don't journey that path yourself and want to experience it. And that path doesn't come so easy. You have to burn yourself, you have to melt yourself, you have to go through a lot of challenge and lot of tests in this world to evolve inwards. It doesn't come so easy. The purity of heart doesn't come so easy. Like the gold, which has to be put in the fire for the impurities to be removed. You will be put into that fire. The tests are going to come dime a dozen to see how much of purity you have. See, everybody cannot be, again I'm saying, everybody is not a gold. Either you can be different metals. For all I care, you can be in steel as well. But can you be the best quality steel? Can you be the best quality silver? Can you be the best quality bronze? Whatever that metal you are, but you have to be the highest in that. That is what is required. But you can't take the place of a diamond. Neither can you become a gold. Please remember this. So you just have a position. So whatever that you are, you have to be best in that place alone. So you cannot compare yourself with another individual at all. And that is what this whole teaching is all about. Even in the Ras Leela, every gopi had one Krishna. What does it mean? God is to each his own. It is exclusive to that being. If God is to everybody, and God is only exclusively to yourself. What you experience, the other person cannot experience, and you cannot judge on the other person's, love and devotion to the divine. Don't ever use your petty mind. This is something people don't understand. They think they know too much and they blabber too much and talk too much. Why? Because they think they have an understanding and they need to understand. Spirituality, yes, also people don't understand. Yesterday somebody, I was talking to someone. It is very interesting. And in that they were discussing, what is spirituality all about and how do you apply ancient Indian scriptures, the knowledge from the ancient Indian, the rich Indian culture, tradition. Our scriptures have taught some of those powerful lessons. And today we're trying to use that. But first of all, do you even have a knowledge? And one thing my Guruji has taught, when you know the other person doesn't have knowledge, don't open your mouth. Don't even say that. Sometimes you don't even have to just say you know it or you don't know it. Let the person talk, because ignorant being talk too much. They think they know too much and they want to blabber a lot. Without knowledge, you don't even want to put your foot in your mouth. But unfortunately, in the world, people think they are too learned and they have got knowledge, they know spirituality and all that. But I've realized over a period of time, you will only open your mouth either when you have to teach or really when you have to give some knowledge to someone Or there is a need when you have to, if somebody is asking you a question to you, you need to speak at that time. But beyond that, don't open your mouth to people who have no idea about this subject, because then you're talking to an ignorant being and you're messing the person's mind because their understanding is not there. So talk only when it's required. And the other very important thing which my Krishna Guruji will tell, people will come to him and say, oh yeah, I know this, I know that. And you know what? He'll just very humbly say to them, yeah, I don't know. Could you please explain? He's the master of all knowledge. There is not a single thing that he doesn't know. Yet he shows that humility. And today that's the journey which I am on. And it takes a lot of time to understand, you just need to shut up your mouth. You don't have to, you don't have to justify. Neither do you have to say something to somebody, whether they're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. And one thing my Krishna Guruji has taught, those who truly want to learn, they will come and you will find them. But there are a handful of them. It's not everybody who will aspire to learn in that depth and who really, really want to evolve on the path. Everybody has a different level of understanding, learning, and this is a journey of knowledge. It is not a journey just like, okay, I want to be spiritual. No, spirituality doesn't exist until and unless the knowledge doesn't fructify through application. Because till you don't apply the knowledge, the fructification is not going to happen. And till the fructification doesn't happen, you don't understand what it means. So Bhagavad Gita, whatever you have learned or whatever you might have, understood, it still becomes the bookish knowledge. It's like I'm reading a book or I'm sitting in a class for a lecture. And after the lecture finishes and it's done, I close the book and I go back to my world. That's all it is. And this has no value. So this is exactly what my Krishna Guruji teaches. And yesterday it was very powerful to see how people, just say things, just mere words, not understanding what that word signifies actually and what it really means. At that time, the only thing you can do is shut up. Because look, yeah, ignorance, this is Kali Yuga and everybody is filled with ignorance. That is the truth. So you can find only handful of people. And please remember one very beautiful lesson. We were talking to someone and then it hit me really hard. Till the time it doesn't come from within you, whether it is to work for a cause or that purpose or the ability that you want to learn, that fire in your belly doesn't come. Nobody can give it to you from outside. It is only when you get that from within yourself, can you do something about it? Then the knowledge will open up. But till you resist and you don't want to learn, nothing is going to come to you. So here also he's telling, but the self-control sadhaka, what does it mean? So everything is within. The self-control is something you have to exercise. Nobody can give it to you from outside. Like my Guruji says, I can only teach. I can take the horse to the river. I can't make the horse to drink the water. You have to drink the water. It is your journey. So knowledge can only be imparted. And he's going to continuously teach. His job is to teach every single day. And today I'm in a very different journey. Today my Guruji is teaching me all about leadership's management. Leadership skill, what it means to be a great leader. How do you become that great leader? What all you have to go through? What kind of difficulties will come? How do you handle those things? And today I'm on this training ground. It's tough. It's very beautiful though. But because if I don't go through that tough learning, I wouldn't be like what he wants me to be. But to be even 1%, just a dot, I wouldn't say 1%. Nobody can even be 1% of him. It's just a tiny speck of who he is. I have accomplished, my life has become sarthak. My existence, I have achieved the purpose. That's how I feel. But today it's all about giving back. Because my Guruji has done so much. There's not a single human being on this entire planet universe, this entire earth, this entire universe, nobody like him today. There is no one match for him. And he is who he is, Lord Sri Krishna. Can anybody be greater than him? Of course not. Similarly, when you understand who you truly are, you don't need somebody from outside to give you that title or anything. Whether somebody acknowledges or doesn't acknowledges, nobody can take away Lord Sri Krishna's existence. Likewise, whoever you are, your existence cannot be taken away just by somebody saying good or bad. It doesn't matter because they are only talking from they're spewing their mind's muck. And you don't have to dwell in that muck of their mind. And it doesn't define who you are. You are the Devi, you are the God, you are the goddess. And nobody has to give you anything from outside. That will. And that will is required. And that all comes through that practice. So here it's talking about the self-control. The self-control is you don't respond, you don't react to unnecessary things in the world. If somebody is talking something bad, you don't have to react. Neither if somebody is praising you, even to that you don't have to react. That yoga of equanimity you have to strive to. And most important, like Lord Shri Krishna says, that can be only achieved when you be self-controlled. You have to have that control. Nobody else can give you from outside. So he's saying that self-controlled sadhaka while enjoying the various sense objects. See, enjoying is a very interesting word here. See, here the word enjoying is not the way you understand, because when the moment I say enjoyment, people go into the aspect of, oh yes, look, the sadhaka is also enjoying. It's not the enjoying the way you think it is. Like the enjoyment here means that I am detached. My eyes is looking at a beautiful flower and I'm saying, oh God, how beautiful flower that is. It's a creation of the divine Lord, Mother Nature. I admire her. That is all it is. But that's called the sacrifice. You're offering the sacrifice to the God inside your eye. And that is an enjoyment. So who has accepted that sacrifice? That enjoyment has been accepted by the God in your eye. But enjoyment doesn't mean your mind dwelling on it. I want to own. You know what enjoyment means really here? The enjoyment that we are talking about is not to possess, not to dwell in that rose. Oh, I want to pluck this rose so that I can offer to my girlfriend. I can offer to my wife. I can offer to my mother. It's about a possession. Or I can take this flower and keep it in my garden. Or I can put it on my God. See, offering to the God is not an enjoyment, but still it is saying, I want to possess that. And that becomes an enjoyment. But the enjoyment which Lord Shri Krishna is referring here is very tricky. And see, this is what happens. The English is a very funny language, because the word can be interpreted in based on how much of understanding your mind has. So you can interpret anything out of context as well, and that is why there's a lot of miscommunication happens, misunderstanding happens, because our understanding is not exactly in par with the other person's understanding. So what does enjoyment here mean? Enjoying the various sense objects through his senses, which means he's saying when you look at it, you just admire it. You're offering the sacrifice to the God inside the eye. So that's an enjoyment. It doesn't mean I want to possess, I want to own, I want to give it to my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, or my mother, my father, my children. That's not what it means. That is a materialistic enjoyment, but here we are still talking about a detachment. How do you live in detachment? And just saying, admiring everything in the universe, but not with an attachment to the sense object. That is what he's saying. And then, so he's saying, but the self-controlled sadhaka, while enjoying the various sense objects through his senses, which are disciplined. What is he saying? Which are disciplined and free from likes and dislikes. See, what did I tell you? The moment you say, you just admire it. You're not either saying, oh, I want to own it, I like it, or I dislike it. So what is that state that sadhaka is already in? Is that called equanimity of mind. He's not swaying, oh, that's such a beautiful, a flower, I have to own it. No, I like it. Or some people, who don't like that flower, oh God, I don't like that flower, I don't even like the sight of it. You're not feeling either of this. You're saying, his senses which are disciplined. So it's not trying to possess. Neither is your mind dwelling in that sense object. You just admire. Or when you see a beautiful, or you're smelling some, you love some food. Say, okay, I see somebody's making masala dosa. Okay, wow, I'm smelling masala dosa. Oh God, I want to eat right now masala dosa. The smell that makes you hungry. You're not even bothered about it. Okay, you just smelt it. It doesn't matter. So there's no reaction triggering within you. Oh, now I want to go eat masala dosa. I'm craving. You become just, uncontrollable. You are trying to find a restaurant where you can eat a masala dosa right then. That doesn't happen. That's what it means. Or you're smelling some garbage. There's a dust. The people who collect the garbage collection van is going. And you smell something dirty, and we'll say, you make faces, right? Oh, yuck, it's so horrible smell. You'll say that. Neither of it makes a difference to you. Why? Because the senses are, when they come in contact of the sense object, there's no mind there. It's cut. That there's no connectivity over there. And that is what gets cut. which means then you become indifference to pairs of opposite. Whether it is smelling nice or whether it is stinking, it doesn't matter. It just smells, but you're not reacting, or you're not saying I like it or I don't like it. You just move on. You understand it's just the perfect existence in the world, and you just walk past without any reaction. But how does that happen? Only through self-control and through his senses, which are disciplined. What that does tell you? You have to get your senses to become disciplined, to not react, to not respond, and to not say I like something, I dislike something. And this itself is a great sadhana. You have to strive for this practice. See, this whole chapter is all about self-control, attaining, striving to attain or practice the yoga of equanimity. And most important, you have to, not get angry because your desires are not fulfilled, because all these things are only going to get you to ruin. So how do you get the stable of mind? How do you get tranquility? This is how you get. But this doesn't happen it doesn't happen overnight. You have to put in a lot of effort, and through arduous effort. And please remember, till you don't do that sadhana, you are not going to go anywhere. And like I said, the lesson, all these fantastic things we are learning, it just becomes a bookish knowledge, because the fructification of less knowledge will not happen within you. The knowledge will not fructify till the time you don't practically apply. And that doesn't mean one day. In last satsang, I was telling a very beautiful example. Many a time we'll say, okay, now I'm going to control. I am not going to react. No matter what the other person says, I'm going to be very clear. I'm going to be very, having all the patience in the world. I will not respond. I'm not going to get angry. You say all this to yourself. You make 100 promises. And maybe once you have done it, imagine the moment you think, and exactly yesterday my Krishna Guruji, and he was talking to me about this. I said how the mind comes about. When you feel, okay, now I'm able to control, I'm able to achieve this. Oh, good, I'm able to apply it. Just that thought, I'm not joking. Right round the corner, Maya, darling, will be ready with a big lesson for you, with a big test for you, waiting around the corner. And then she'll say, oh, you have overcome, is it? Let me show you now. Let me see what happens to you. And she'll put a tougher situation out there for you ready, and seeing how you're going to react or respond. And then what? The moment you get into it, you're caught off guard. And then if you don't have the self-control, and if your senses are not disciplined, you're going to fail. This is what happens. So don't even feel elated. You just have to keep doing till it becomes very natural. It becomes a part of you. You become that knowledge yourself. Till such time, you have to strive. The word is strive, and you have to put self-effort. And most important, for attaining that discipline, you need to have self-control. So, and then what is he says? And free from likes and dislikes, attains. What do you attain now? Placidity of mind. Wow. Does your mind is anytime placid? Of course not. It's always turbulent. It's thinking too many things. Oh God, look at that thing. What is happening? I don't know what to do. The mind is talking dime a dozen. It doesn't allow you to stay in peace. It doesn't allow you to be calm. It's always turbulent. It's agitated. It's trying to, give you too many thoughts. It's telling you nonsensical things. It's making you think about subjects that are of no value. There are, like my Krishna Guruji will say, उसमें कुछ तथ्य नहीं है. Tathya means there is no meaning in that. And we'll think all the nonsensical things. What is going to happen? I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know what's going to be the future. Something bad is going to happen. Good is going to happen. We're constantly dwelling in this kind of, mindset. And then you don't know what is going to actually happen. And you're always under the pressure. Agitation, turbulence. Your mind is constantly in friction. So where is the question of being in union? Union with God though doesn't happen at all. And suddenly it'll show you all the scary pictures. Oh, you know what? Look, today, something bad is there. Look, this person said this. Today your boss is in a bad mood. Or today your boss might not, speak to you nicely. He's not giving you an increment. He gave everybody else because he favors them. He's not giving you. Too many things goes on. And we keep making judgments on an individual, not even understanding the truth. We have never made an attempt to find out what exactly is the truth. And then we use our mind's judgment. We use our mind's conclusions of a situation, of what a person is saying. We make judgments, and then we already have judged or made a decision in our mind. Either something is good or something is bad. We don't even know what the real story is. What is the real scenario? We don't know. So please never ever go into that mode where you're constantly going to fall prey to your mind's judgment about everything in the world. Don't judge. And please remember, we should always give benefit of doubt to whatever that happens around us. And most important word which my Krishna Guruji teaches is let it be. Don't react. Don't respond. Let it be. Sometimes you can handle every situation in a very peaceful manner. You can have a civil conversation. This is something he has taught. You can always sit and sort things out. You don't have to behave in a very crass manner. So those are the things that comes with discipline of the senses. Because what is reacting? Everything that is reacting is your senses. When the sense comes in contact with the sense objects, the reaction happens. And if you're not self-controlled, and if you're not disciplined your senses for not reacting, then you're always going to fail. Let me tell you, no matter what you do, you will always fail. Because this is a very important lesson when you have to evolve, and especially in the material world. When we have to evolve, these are the lessons which we need to understand. And today one thing that is missing is people don't have that knowledge, especially the right knowledge. They don't know what it means to learn. Learning how to learn is what we have to do today. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing as part of our Gurukul. My Krishna Guruji is going to focus on how to, teach the world how to learn. Because they don't know. Even if they have learned, they don't even know how to use the knowledge and apply that in their life to win. On the contrary, that knowledge has become useless. So what have you actually learned? You've learned nothing. So most important thing is today we need to impart to the world how to learn, how to apply the knowledge, and how to go in using the right tools, and how to walk the path, the right direction. We will show them that path. And that is what it is all about. So Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the way of life. The way of Lord Sri Krishna's life. How do you live like him? That is what he's teaching. And please remember, it's very easy to say, oh, I know Gita, I have by-hearted the 700 verse. No, nothing. Nobody can by-heart 700 verse. And please remember, Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge can be only imparted by Lord Sri Krishna himself. Nobody is capable of teaching. This body has no knowledge. The words are of my Krishna Guruji's wisdom. He is Lord Sri Krishna himself. The words are of the divine wisdom. I don't have this knowledge. But the words flow from my mouth. Now what does it mean? Along with you, even I am learning. I am learning a lot myself too. So we are on the journey and we have to continue to learn. It doesn't happen overnight, but you should not give up. Work hard. Work hard towards applying these knowledge in your life, and only then can you achieve. What can you achieve? Attains placidity of mind. Because attaining placidity of mind is very important. Imagine, you can be in spiritual and you can say, oh, I worship God and all. Have you ever seen any human being having that placidity of mind? I have to not come across except for my Krishna Guruji, who there's no mind at all over there. He's always in that oneness. His mind is universal mind, which is the entire universe. He's always in that Satchidanand. What does it mean? Truth, knowledge and bliss. He's in the blissful state. He's Sat, it's truth, knowledge, it's full of knowledge, and the blissful state. He's the only truth that exists today. Can we even achieve that in our life? That's the aspiration, that's a lofty goal. Like my Krishna Guruji said, we need a goal, but can you attain that? Yeah, having goal is very good. Goal setting is very important, but doesn't mean we set up any goal. Like yesterday we were saying, I was having a session, and in that they asked about what is it we need to achieve. They talked about a golden age. There is no golden age that exists where everything is beautiful, we are living in harmony, we are nice to everybody, we are very good, our good self, we are loving, all that. Where does it exist? We can't be nice to our own people today. They know we are at each other's throat. There is no love. It's all about hatred. It's all about animosity. I don't like, we all have our do's and don'ts, and that doesn't work in the world. It absolutely doesn't work. And that is why the destruction is going to happen. The Kali Yuga, the way it's very easy to get destroyed, because we're all living with our demonic qualities. Our tendencies are on the forefront, which can destroy that goodness in like this in no time. The goodness has already gone out of the window. And what are we living with? All the negative qualities in us. And that is what we have to overcome. And so somebody was talking about, how do we make this golden age happen? And how do we bring that, that transformation? And then I didn't speak up for that because I know this is not going to happen. It was never in the past 4 yugas. So how can we make this happen in this yuga? Because we're talking about lofty goals. So they asked me, what is the transformation that the at a government level that we need to bring, or at a nationwide? What is the transformation? And to which I answered, nobody follows reforms, because reforms are made. You bring in the policies, but how many people actually do follow the rules? Because why? People do not follow rules and they want to break the rule. And most importantly, we want to give concessions. We have to make concessions. So it doesn't work. And that's why we have to begin with ourselves. And that is why my Krishna Guruji says, I will give this knowledge. I will teach you as much as I can. But the one who really has to apply the knowledge is you. So you have to transform. When you transform, there will be other people who will look at you as a role model. And then they will also say, I want to become like that. So you set an example for the world to follow. So transformation or change begins with me. I am not here to change the world. Neither I am here to change anybody else. I am here to just change myself. So my Guruji will tell, the knowledge is coming to you, which means you have to use that knowledge. But the choice is always with you. Yesterday he wrote a very beautiful update. And in that he said, I give, at the end of the day, I teach this. He is giving Arjuna the knowledge. But the choice to rise above or fall down rests with you alone. What is the decision that you take? Then the destiny will work accordingly. And then you can't blame God. Oh, you only did this for me. It's because of you I am suffering. That is stupidity. And that is called your, absolute, I don't know what kind of a brain you might have then. Forget about ignorance. Then you will have a worst brain beyond ignorance as well. Then you will not even qualify to be anybody if you blame God. God is not doing anything, please remember. He's just a witness. He's merely giving that knowledge. He's teaching Arjuna all the right things. At the end of the day, he says, the choice rests with you alone. How you want to be, how you want to conduct, what you want to become is purely dependent on how you behave, live and do things in this world. If you want to become a crass human being, that's a choice you have. But I have done my job. My duty is to teach you, show you what is right and what is wrong. But to take that decision, which is right for you and the world, rests with you alone. Nobody else can decide for yourself. And that is the spiritual truth. Nobody can decide. You decide. That's why we say, we write our destiny. The choice that you make makes that destiny happen. So don't blame God. God is very beautiful. God gives all the right things. He is giving the most profound knowledge. But if we don't use that knowledge and become divine, become our good self and walk the path of the truth, then it is a choice that we make. And God is not responsible for our action and the choices we make in our life. So with this, we will stop here, and tomorrow the next satsang will continue from verse 65 onwards. Thank you for joining Shri Bhagavad Gita Satsang, the way of life as imparted by Lord Shri Krishna. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nathanatha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.